You want a sound test? What do you want me to say? Blah, 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 blah.
Hello, I'm Carolee.
And I'm Charles.
We're an old married couple who enjoys traveling, cooking, and having adventures.
Together, we enjoy all the wonderful things the world has to offer.
Join us as we discover the wonder about us. Chin chin.
Good morning. I've been craving a dish we call Eric's potatoes. Now, the way it got Eric's name is Eric is a fellow taste bud at was a fellow taste bud at Tastefully Simple. So this recipe has items in it that we no longer have. So this is going to help show you how you can adapt a recipe. So the recipe calls for a bag of frozen hash brown potatoes. Okay, so if you go to the grocery store, even if you just look at a single brand, they've got like 8 sizes of bags. So what size bag is it? So we're gonna I'm gonna show you how to adapt that kind of recipe also. So it calls for a package of Welcome Chipotle dip mix. We don't have that anymore. I haven't had that in, I don't know, 10, 15 years. So I went through and saw, ooh, what do I have? And so many of our savory, is savory the right word? I always get those mixed up.
Savory is not sweet.
Yeah, so many of our savory cheese balls work fabulous as seasonings. And so I dug through, and again, this product's not available anymore. This is a roasted garlic and red pepper cheese ball mix. So I think that's gonna be a really good flavor. So we're gonna put in, oh, you know what? I need one more package of this. Because, oh no, this is a full package. Some of our samples are half packages. So I'm gonna put this in, and we're gonna use that, and it's what it is. Let me, excuse me, Charles, what are you doing? Okay, so we got 8 ounces of sour cream. And we don't drink milk in our house because I'm not supposed to. And so whenever we need a recipe, we'll either buy a small carton like this, and even if you pay a little extra, but you're still gonna throw it away. This way you don't throw it away, so you're not wasting. You can also drive through Jack in the Box or McDonald's, pick up a small container, or if you buy a half gallon, because you can't hardly find a quart's the same price as a half gallon. This is the same price as a half gallon. If you buy a half gallon, plan on baking. So a lot of times I'll make like au gratin potatoes and put them in the freezer. So go ahead and plan on using them all up. Make a cream soup, put it in the freezer. You don't have to use it all that week, but that way you're not wasteful. This time we decided we really didn't, I already have some au gratin potatoes in the freezer, so we just decided to go ahead and buy the smaller container. So I guess even if it was open, it has another seal on it. So I need a half a cup, I think it said. Yep. So we got a half a cup of our milk. And then a can of cream of celery soup. And if you don't have cream of celery soup, that's okay. Use something else. Use cream of mushroom would be good. Even like the cheese soups are good because you're already gonna add cheese to this. This is not gonna fit in here. This will though. So it doesn't have to be cream. Again, you can substitute. So. So I'm going to go ahead and mix these, and it says to mix for the first 4 ingredients, which 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's it. Okay. So I'm going to mix this up. Now remember, I don't have any idea, because this recipe is so old, I don't have any idea how big the bag of hash browns is. But I can guarantee you it was not this 4-pound bag. So what you want to do is go ahead and just open, and I just usually open one little corner of it. Okay, and again, I kind of broke it up with my hands ahead of time. And then I'm going to just kind of guess how much is in here. Now I'm going to be adding cheese to this also. So I'm going to start off with that. This is still pretty moist, so I can go ahead and add some more hash browns. And I'm going to be adding cheese also, so it's going to add a lot of moisture to this. This is a great dish for breakfast, as we're going to have it today, but it's also a fabulous dish as a side dish. At Christmas time, we actually served prime rib and had this as the side dish, and everybody was like, oh my gosh, these potatoes are so good. It's an easy thing if you have a big group of people, so you don't have to make a big batch of mashed potatoes. Okay, so see, this doesn't really have any extra liquid in it. It's kind of all mixed in, everything's coated, so I think that's going to be adequate hash browns. So these other ones you'll want to seal up. I usually will put a little clip on it, and then if I have a large enough freezer bag, as like a Ziploc brand, or doesn't have to be Ziploc brand, any brand, but make sure it's a freezer bag size, then I'll put that in there just to give it some extra protection, because we don't always remember these are in there, and it might be a while before I get to them, and that gives them extra protection from that whiskers. It gets those frozen whiskers. So we're gonna go ahead and take our pan, and we're gonna coat it. I use coconut oil, but you can use anything you like. You can use the old-fashioned way with butter, a stick of butter and some flour. That I grew up learning how to do that. That was always fun to do, but again, I'm not supposed to be eating flour, so, and that takes more time. You got to get the flour out. This, you just open up the cabinet and spray. Oh, I did this wrong already. You're supposed to layer in the cheese. Instead of layering in the cheese, I'm going to mix in the cheese. So see, it's adaptable. If you make a mistake, no big deal, just fix it. So this calls for 2.5 cups of smoked Gouda. I'm just going to use the rest of the cheese I have here. So I'm going to use all of this. And I also forgot the melted butter. This is when you're not used to cooking from a recipe. So I have this dish. I bought this dish at a garage sale, and I absolutely love it because in this case, it asks for 2 tablespoons of melted butter. So your butter has the measuring on here. Now when you do this, make sure that it's not, sometimes the wrapper is way over. So you see the wrapper's not quite even. So I'm not going to cut here. I'm going to cut a little extra, because the wrapper folded over, so the lines aren't really in the right spot. Now what's so nice about this dish I bought is that I can put almost any size of amount of butter in here, and it's not going to overflow, because butter in the microwave tends to bubble and overflow. And so this is really nice. I can just stick this in here, and that's a little tiny bit. I didn't have I had my butter sitting on the counter, but hasn't been sitting out that long. So I'm gonna do about 30 seconds, but I'm gonna stand here because I did have it on the counter, so it might not, it might melt faster than that. But if I had to do a stick of butter, it would still fit in here. And you can use a regular Pyrex measuring cup if you want. Sometimes it sticks out the top and it drips over the side. So this way I don't have any mess in my microwave that I have to clean up. We're going to add just a few more seconds there. And it's not quite melted. It's got a little bit left in here, but by the time I mix it around and get it in here where I'm supposed to have it, so let's see where I was supposed to add that. Oh, it's over the top. So by the time I get on the top, that's gonna be ready there. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix this in. You could layer it. I think this is just easier this way. I think that looks nice and good. And because we didn't scrape this out, we just poured it out, we don't need to wipe this out and respray it. The anti-stick spray is still going to be there. Now, if you were making this just for breakfast and you wanted to make it an extra little breakfast-like, I guess, you could add some breadcrumbs on top, and then it's going to be, it'll come out more like a little bit of like a French toast kind of thing. So this isn't very much butter, so you just got to kind of weave it around, kind of alternate it. That one little cube didn't melt, so I'm going to move it to the middle. Of course, it melted when I went to pick it up. And then I'm going to put a little pepper on this to start with. It doesn't say anything about that, but I know we both like pepper on our potatoes. So I'm going to go ahead and ground some fresh pepper on here. Not too much, because you're not mixing it in. And sometimes people will take just off the top, because that's going to be a little crispier than the rest. And then it goes in a 350-degree oven for an hour. And that's Eric's potatoes. And like I said, it's great as a breakfast item, as we're going to have it today. It's fantastic as a side dish. It's one of those things that you can make ahead of time. You don't even have to bake it first. You can just do what we just did and put it in the freezer. And then if you're expecting company a month or whatever, you can just pull it out and they're going to think it's amazing, because you've pre-made it. So we'll get back when we sample it later. So the timer just went off on Eric's potatoes. So let's go ahead and see what they look like. I'm sure they're gonna look. Oh, yeah. Look how yummy that looks. So again, if you're doing these ahead of time, you don't have to bake them first. You can just put them in the freezer, and then you can bake them when they come out. Or if you want to go ahead and bake them and eat some now, they'll still reheat, and you can either reheat them in the microwave or reheat them in the oven. Or you can even do them on the stovetop. So if you were to take these leftovers, just fold them all up when you're reheating them on a saucepan, and maybe add a little bit more sour cream or a little bit of milk. Yum.